pre-2020, now I'll explain why that is the case, people found it difficult to accept that there were real racial issues within sport within the UK, albeit the fact that it seemed anecdotally obvious that we didn't see a lot of sporting coaches or managers or owners of clubs, for example, who are ethnically diverse. But since the death of George Floyd, what we're seeing is that people have listened to Sporting Equals. We've created a race index, if you like, race representation index, which has been used across a number of different sporting organizations. The information's on the website, so you can go on the website and you can see how, GB Athletics, or you can see how GB Boxing, or you can see how the FA, for example, who have recently come on board, how they are performing in terms of their ability to be able to represent ethnic individuals at various levels within the organisation. So that conversation is a lot easier to have today than it ever was previously.
One of the things I just wanted to pick up on there, which I actually hear a lot and have still continued to hear even since 2020, is that boardroom level, that's one of the areas where improvements still really need to be made quite significantly.
Correct. And the challenge that you have within sports is actually a microcosm of the challenges that we have within the UK society as a whole. So when you look at the FTSE 100 companies, when you look at large corporate entities within the UK, we still have an issue with representation of ethnically diverse individuals at the board level. And we are seeing that with the Race Representation Index by and large. We are seeing some improvements over the years, but by and large, when we look at the board level and senior management at the executive level, we are seeing some challenges, if you will, in terms of the representation of ethnically diverse individuals at those levels.
And how do you get better at that?
How we get better is you need to have organisations like Sporting Equals to basically be there in order to provide the checks and balance. We are seen to be an advocate. We're not an adversarial organisation. We're there to sort of point out where there are problems, but also be a friend and a friendly combatant, if you like, to help them to get to where they need to get to.
So as we said, this is very much day one on the job, so you come into it with a blank sheet of paper, but in terms of your own personal aims of ambitions of continuing to improve things, what are the sort of key bullet points you have already?
So there are three things that we do very well today. We have a race representation index. I briefly mentioned that. We also do a lot of work in helping to produce the next generation of leaders. So we have a leader board, which is a sort of training program to bring on board the next generation of leaders from ethnically diverse backgrounds. We have a sport award, Sporting Equal Awards, and we recognise the youth, we recognise people from ethnic backgrounds, and we're going to continue to do that. However, I'm a scientist as well, so I think that we need to embrace AI. The relationship between data science and AI and sort of being more mathematical and analytical in the research that we do could help us to be able to provide for better advocacy to influence regional and national policy. And I think that's really what we need to focus on going forwards.
We've spoken about sort of the top end and boardrooms. What about the other end of the scale and the work that Sporting Equals has done for young people over the years? Is that a great source of pride, would you say? Significantly.
There are a number of different areas that we've worked across the UK in terms of working with community organisations. For example, one thing comes to mind, Sweaty Betty Foundation. We've done some work with them in regards to helping young girls between the ages of 13 and 18 in Manchester, for example, to be able to engage in sports which are culturally sensitive to them, or maybe based on their religion. They can actually co-design the kind of sports that they want to do, and we've worked with that organisation. We've worked with Nike in order to be able to help develop the next generation of future female leaders, many of whom are quite young as well. So we will continue to do that going forwards.
Well, look, thank you so much for coming in to see us on your first day. I'm sure there's a lot to be getting on with, but great to have you with us, and hopefully you'll come back again and see us soon.
I certainly hope so, and thank you very much.
Thank you.